Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is Candace with Astrology.com, bringing you your 2017 astrology highlights. I'm also going to be talking to you guys about some of the impending astrology points that will be happening, as well as giving you a really in-depth reading on all of your personal planets for each and every one of the zodiac. We're going to take our time today. We're going to be here for a little bit, so I'm really excited to get into this with you guys. Later, if I get the opportunity, I'm going to try and chat in and see if I can answer some questions for you guys and see what comes up. But let's go ahead and start talking about some of what we've been dealing with in 2016. I think that I'm with everybody when we say I'm about ready for the year to end and to welcome in the new energy, because it's certainly going to be a change. Now, when we look at the numerology behind 2017, we get a 10. So this is a year of completion. This is also a year of everything coming together. We're going to see some major astrological changes. We're going to see some great fire trines, and definitely, Saturn making its way out of Sagittarius and into Capricorn. We're going to talk a little bit about the retrogrades that are going to be happening this year. As you guys know, we're going to have retrogrades in and out of the fire signs, as well as a Venus retrograde that's going to be happening and a Jupiter retrograde that will also be happening. So, looking at the key dates moving forward into 2017, that's really what I want to kind of chat about a little bit before I do the zodiac wheel spread for all of you guys to get an idea of what to be expecting from 2017 as a whole. We kick the year off right now. We're in a retrograde. It's going to be ending in just a matter of about 2 short weeks, even though we're going to still be in the shadow. It will be done. The big thing that I'm looking at here that I want to start off with is actually the eclipse that we're going to be having at 22 degrees Leo, and this will be coming in at about February 11th, 2017. What are we going to be seeing with this this eclipse? There will be trines, but we're going to be seeing resolution of inner conflict. That's the big thing that I'm noticing with this eclipse. It's going to be affecting all of the signs, but particularly the fixed signs as well. And a strong urge to break free from what's holding us back emotionally, spiritually, physically. When we think about Leo and then the counterpart being Aquarius, it's all about having fun, creativity. It's about children. It's about how we're expressing ourselves. It's about romance. So we're going to see a lot of new relationships, I think, especially for Leos. We're going to see a lot of new relationships because priorities are going to be changing a little bit. We're also going to see the return of that mystic triangle that we were talking about in one of my earlier videos with the moon trine and sextiling Uranus. So I see so many new relationships, especially because of the placement of Jupiter in Libra. Then we're going to move forward, and on February 26, 2017, we're going to have a solar eclipse in Pisces. So the solar eclipses in Pisces are nothing new to us. We've been having it since the beginning of 16, excuse me. And this is going to be at 8 degrees Pisces. I like this eclipse because the sun will be conjunct Neptune. The moon will be conjunct Neptune. This is going to be an excellent time for spiritual work, dream work, visions, what we're envisioning, bringing into our life, digging deep into our subconscious, and really figuring out what direction we need to be going in. I also see this being about premonitions. And so, we're going to see a lot of people that are going to potentially be making predictions at that time or seeing glimpses of what's going to be coming in the future. What else do I have here? Also, hopes and dreams and wishes, because we are going to see a lot of positive aspects that's going to be going on also with Aquarius, that everything is just going to kind of open up. So it's a time where we can manifest and we can think about what we want, put our energy to it, and really see it happen. Then we're going to get into March 2nd. This is going to be a big day. We're going to have Jupiter opposing Uranus. This is rebellion. This is rebellious energy. This is going to be taking chances. Okay, we're taking chances on this day. Rebellious energy, fresh starts, major changes. We've also got Saturn still in Sagittarius. I see this as a time of adventure and people making plans for moving, traveling, going out, definitely getting out of our comfort zone and having the opportunity to take a chance. Then we get to March 30th, 2017, Jupiter square Pluto. Now this is nothing new to us. We've been dealing with some squares for some time now, but this is really a matter of also still taking chances, but plans for success, how we can plan for success, how we can keep our power in check in our relationships with others, in our relationships with our employers or within our career, and how we cannot abuse that power and use it for good. So many themes of 2017 are community and working together and being able to be more understanding and receptive of other people in order to complete and create our dreams and create our own reality. So we're really, really having to utilize the ability to come together as a community. Then we get into May 19th and Saturn will trine Uranus. I see this as smooth transitions. I think that this is going to help us really kind of mellow out that electric energy that we get from Uranus. I think we're also going to see all types of opportunities open up for creativity, new travels as well, but more so creative projects and how we're able to create a foundation for those creative projects and potentially start something new. August 4th, once again, we'll have another Jupiter square Pluto. So like I said, reappearing themes from March about keeping ourselves in check. It's interesting because the energy of 2017 seems very abundant. It seems very abundant and it seems very quick. And so if that's what's going on, we need to make sure that we are pacing ourselves and taking our time, that we're not rushing into things and rushing out of things, and we're making appropriate decisions based off of what's the best overall in general for ourselves and other people. August 7th, we're going to have another lunar eclipse at 16 degrees Aquarius. Basically what I'm seeing with this is being able to connect with other people, connect with groups of people. You're going to see that with that opposition that we have in Leo, certainly a need to stand out and to be recognized within a group, or to find our path, or to find our tribe. And that's going to be a pretty significant eclipse. I mean, both of the eclipses that we have going on around that time. But that one in general is about group involvement and the need to be able to be recognized within a group. August 27th, then, we have Saturn trine Uranus again. So like I said, making smooth transitions. A lot of you guys, I think, are going to be taking up new spiritual developments in general, new groups. You may be looking at going and considering retreats, or going and visiting places, or studying places that's bringing you into other cultures and other understandings. So a lot of these transits are repetitive this year to really reinforce what it is you're learning and what resonates with you on a more spiritual level. So now we're already into the end of August, which brings us to the solar eclipse on the 21st. That's going to be in Leo, and this was that big eclipse that we talked about that was going to be visible from the States at the end of summer. And it's all about a revolution. It can be a revolution of any different kind. It can be, from my perspective, many changes going on within the States and within the world, and in terms of how we interact with our government. But also this is talking to us about, are we in charge of our own reality? Are we in charge of our own lives? Where are we making changes and choosing to be our own governed self? Are we being honest with ourselves, and are we enjoying things, and are we having fun, and are we doing things and working from the heart? So you'll see that appearing at the end of summer. When we get into September now, on the 27th, Jupiter will sextile Saturn, which is great. I mean, this is like giving you more responsibility and giving you expansion, really believing in yourself and believing in projects, and that you have the ability to take this new sense of whatever has come from the eclipse, and it will be more responsibility. It may potentially be more independence, and really apply it to your own personal growth. I see so much opportunity for investments, for business deals. I see opportunities for promotions. And you're going to just see some kind of positive influx that's going to be going on just shortly after this eclipse, where maybe perhaps because of some of the changes that will be happening, people are going to be starting businesses, putting money into businesses, making sales, changing their priorities, and we're going to see that we're starting to really kind of build at a different pace in our lives after that eclipse. On October 11th, Scorpio, you get Jupiter. This is a big day. This is the first day that it enters 0 degrees Scorpio, and it has not been there in 12 years. It will be bidding farewell to Libra, and opening all of us up to more emotional, spiritual, subconscious feelings. It's also going to magnify in our lives where we need to utilize the ability to just allow things to end, because Scorpio does that so well. It's definitely going to be a theme for a lot of different people. Positive effects for anybody who's got major water placements, because we will be seeing those trines all the way through the end of 2018. And it's going to be great. I'm a Scorpio, so I'm very excited. But Libra's been good to me too. So this is also about the value, looking at this, of your own intuitive and psychic abilities, and where you're able to uncover things that perhaps you were not comfortable uncovering before. So I just want to note that to some of you guys who are going to be having had gone through some spiritual awakening recently, this can be magnified, and you're going to feel things and see things so much more deeply. On November 11th, we have another Saturn trine Uranus, and the theme that I'm really seeing here is recognition. So not only being able to utilize the new responsibility that you guys have gotten, but also being able to be recognized for what you're completing and what you're working on. This is a really great day to put something out, to show something to the world. It's going to give you the opportunity to have suddenly be seen or to be exposed. And 1111's power numbers, guys. So these are master numbers. I mean, that day there is a portal that opens, and it's a portal to higher consciousness, or to your guides, or to whomever you're working with. But it's a master code that unlocks things. And it also has to do with just spirit in general. And so there's going to be some interesting things going on that day with that trine that I think is going to be just like a sudden, oh my gosh, moment that people are going to have the ability to really expand outside of what they may have thought was possible. But Saturn's involvement, I love, because it's still giving us the opportunity to have a foundation, and to not get too outside of our own heads, and to not get too big-headed, so to say, I think. December 2nd, 2017, we are then going to have Jupiter trine Neptune. I can't wait for this. I've been waiting for this. Destined spiritual encounters. That's really what we're going to be seeing here. You're going to have a lot of people on or around this time who will be seeking advice of spiritual counselors, perhaps maybe talking to readers, having a major influx in what's going on with their dream state and what they're seeing and what they're feeling. I'm seeing this as just being an overall energetic shift completely, like completely. This is going to be like an upgrade. And it's also about spiritual, not just spiritual work, but how we feel about humankind, how we feel about how we treat people, where we live and the role that we're playing, not just here in the matrix, but spiritually. Are we walking the spiritual line where we're treating other people the way they want to be treated? And you're going to start seeing so much more hope and love and generosity coming from this transit. I think it's going to be really great after we see a series of some things really shift. And people, I feel like, are going to become a lot less materialistic this year. And they're going to put so much more value on a spiritual or an emotional connection. So that's pretty significant. Also, arts and creativity is going to boom. So, you know, when we follow the trends of what happens in the world, and when we have major world events and traumatic things even that happen, we always see that with the change comes a great deal of creative shifts. You know, the artists come out and people want to write great movies and plays and drop amazing albums and paint amazing pictures. You're going to see a major trend of a really creative wave come at the end of next year as a result of how everybody is feeling about what they have been through in 2017. And let me tell you guys, it's so much better than 2016. It's so much better. It's so much more open. You know, I'm seeing this whole year as being a really, it's a heart opener. It's a throat opener. People are going to be really getting out and talking about how they feel about things. And they're going to be valuing the spiritual and the emotional connections rather than just trying to get by. Because I don't know about you guys, but 2016 was trying to get by, trying to deal with one blow after another. And it's not just the people I've talked to. I've dealt with it too. So I'm really encouraging you guys as we're going into 2017. We just saw, you know, Mars is approaching Neptune in Pisces. So tonight is the night that you really want to be setting those New Year's intentions about where you're going and what you're doing, and your vision and your dreams hold so much more power than they usually would today. Now, I've talked to you guys about before with the new year, when you have your new year, it's also your birthday. So those of you guys whose birthday is on around today, tomorrow, we also just recently had a new moon. I saw some people commenting on the video about that, and I'm going to touch on that too. But anyone whose birthday on or around now is equally as important to know that setting these intentions really, really matter. You know, that new moon that we had for Capricorn, guys, if it's around your birthday just recently, you're in for a wild ride. It's going to be really, really, really fun. It's going to be fun. Obviously, look at your personal charts. Last year on 11/11, I had a new moon on my birthday too, and my life completely changed. So you're going to see the same themes happening for you. But for everybody as a whole, set those intentions, write it down. I mean, a lot of people are going to be choosing to spend this evening, interestingly enough, from who I've spoken to, in meditation, in prayer. They're going to retreats, they're traveling somewhere to go and be somewhere where they can, you know, really have space to have peace and to be grounded and to focus on the year ahead and to mourn everything that we're letting go of in 2016. So this is very important because it's not often that we get to see Mars and Neptune in Pisces together around this time. It just doesn't happen. So when we think of Mars in Pisces, and I've said this before, I joked about it, Mars is this quick, fast-moving energy, and being in Pisces, it's kind of confused. And it can also be about, you know, the dreaminess and the elusiveness of Pisces, and Mars getting in and having to do more work on a subconscious level. So you have the opportunity to really sit and manifest today, tomorrow, and set those New Year's intentions to really make your dreams happen. It's so special. It's so magical. At the same time, I am going to say this, because we are going to have Mars and Neptune that's going to be in Pisces. Those of you guys who are going out really need to be careful. I do believe with this astrological transit, you're going to see a lot more people that are drinking and driving, or who are intoxicated and driving, or going out and not being aware, or not being as conscious, or just not even being mentally checked in. So you have to be really careful, to those of you guys who are going out and doing that, to be sure that you are alert and you are aware. Check in on people, call people, take a cab. Starting to sound like your guys' mom, but please do be careful when you're out this evening. And to those of you guys who are in other parts of the world, you're already out there. So I'll see you tomorrow morning. So part of what I wanted to do also for you guys today is I really wanted to be able to get some new spreads going and be able to talk to you guys, not just about 2017 as a whole, but also be talking to you about individually what you guys can be expecting. And so I'm going to get into that now. I would like to be able to do a zodiac wheel spread. I mean, what's 2017 without being able to do that? But first, I do want to talk to you guys about the retrogrades. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But okay, the retrogrades this year, great. I love it. Me personally, I love it. But that's because I have so much water placement. They're going to be in fire signs. Now, it's kind of confusing because a couple of them will start in earth signs and retrograde through fire signs. So to those of you guys, I'm just going to say it's in fire signs, but there is a technicality here. This first one of the year we're already in. So the second one that we're going to be having this year is going to go retrograde from Taurus through Aries. So we're going to say it's Aries. And it will start April 9th, 2017. Very interesting because it starts in Taurus, it makes its way through. So I see that as it talking about what you create and what you cultivate and what you have to, wait a second, is this in alignment with myself? And this is the theme all year, guys. This is the theme all year. Aries, you guys are really, you're really asking to learn a lot this year. Between that, and we're also going to have that Venus retrograde going through Aries. It's going to be a lot about personal value and personal beliefs. But it ends, or it goes direct on May 3rd. So it will start in Taurus, retrograde into Aries, and then it will go back. So we'll be fine in that regard. Then the next one that we have is going to be starting in Virgo, going retrograde into Leo, August 12th, 2017. It goes direct on September 5th. Okay, guys, it will be in Leo. Now, remember, you're seeing a lot of similar trends between Uranus going through Aries and then Aries having that retrograde, the eclipses that we're having in Leo, and then we're having that retrograde. So it's really reinforcing what lessons we're learning through the transits this year. It's huge. The last one then we're going to have December 3rd, 2017. It will go retrograde through Sagittarius, only through Sagittarius, I should mention. And it's going to be during, you know, the last segment of Saturn being in Sagittarius right before it goes into Capricorn. So it's definitely going to be making sure that you learned your lesson, that the lessons that Saturn has taught you has applied. And remember, guys, when Saturn leaves, Saturn always leaves a gift. Okay, and it may not present itself immediately, and it may not necessarily be a gift in a sense of what you would think, but Saturn always leaves a gift. So Sag, congratulations, you're getting ready to graduate. Man, I know what that's like. When Saturn went through Scorpio, it was a nightmare. But you guys are in the home stretch. Now you can really work with this Saturn energy, especially with the trines and some of the transits this year, to really build a foundation, And I love, you know, even though people will joke and they'll say, oh, well, you know, Saturn and Sagittarius, because Sag is ruled by Jupiter, I think it's a good thing. I'm seeing it being positive and seeing the opportunity for you guys to really be able to build solid beginnings and move forward, and also start to see bits and pieces of the independence that you guys need going forward, which is what you guys really want. So those are the retrogrades that we're going to be having, at least for Mercury. The other thing that I'm looking at, and we have it once every about 2 years, we're going to have the Venus retrograde, and it's going to be in Aries. This does start March 4th, 2017, and it will continue to go retrograde until April 15th, tax day. So what does this mean? We know that Venus has to do with love, but it also has to do with resources. It has to do with wealth. It has to do with luxury goods. And just the fact that it's going through Aries, I think speaks into itself, where we've got, you know, the opportunity to reflect on what we need and what we want and where we need to grow, especially with the retrograde, the Mercury retrograde too, and talking about what we want in terms of partnerships and how that is reflected through how we speak to people, how we treat people, how we are in relationships. If we're wanting to have more of our own alone time and wanting to be able to go solo and not necessarily be in relationships or evaluate working relationships or marital relationships even. Aries is the I am. So you have to understand that as Venus and Mercury goes through there, it's how can I love and honor and value myself and be really in alignment with what I want so I can have healthy relationships. I can have healthy partnerships. I can connect better with other people. And you're going to see that. And on the flip, Libra, you guys are going to be seeing that, you know, you may have some partners that may not seem as checked in. And Jupiter in Libra is just going to magnify that for you. It's just going to really kind of show you, okay, you know, they're doing the work. What does this mean? You're going to see relationships that are going to end during the retrograde. It's just what happens. But you're also going to see working relationships and romantic relationships get stronger as a result. Now, I'm calling this whole period the revenge of the exes. I really think that's what this is going to be. Not to freak you guys out, but between the Mercury retrograde and the Venus retrograde, you're going to see a whole lot of us being in our own head about what we want and what we need, and reminiscing about old love relationships. And then you're going to see people who I think are going to come back as a result of this, because they're going to be in their own heads thinking about, well, I had that person, or I had that situation, or I had that, even that financial goal. And then seeing that, okay, they're going to come back in to try and talk about it. So rehash it, but may not be a good time to get together. I'm never going to tell people not to date or not to do anything, but with any retrograde, you just have to be aware of the energy. So between the Mercury retrograde and the Venus retrograde, I really encourage you guys to think about what you need and what's best for you before you go jumping into relationships or potentially jumping into getting married. Definitely look at your personal transits. Obviously, that's going to tell you a lot more, but man, there's going to be a lot of people's personal agendas and priorities changing, which will then in turn change, you know, where they stand with other people. So be aware of that. Now let's go ahead and let's do this, guys. Let's get into the zodiac wheel spread. I want to do just a general zodiac wheel. I'm going to get really in depth and talk to you guys about what you can be expecting. This is a 12-card spread. It's the similar, you know, shape and everything as it would be if you're looking at the astrological wheel, moving from Aries all the way through until we get to Pisces. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about that. I'm also going to talk to you about each and every one of those houses, because each and every one of those houses will reflect not only what we need to be aware of in particular times in the year, but it also is going to be a reflection of your zodiac sign. So let's get into reading that. And shortly after that, I'm going to go one by one and go through all of each individual horoscopes for you guys in your personal planet. So I hope you guys are hanging in there. You're having fun and getting ready for New Year's. It's crazy how fast the year went. I think it's just absolutely nuts. I feel like it was just the other day and it was like, you know, Halloween, and all of a sudden now it's the end of the year. So, woof, woof. All right. So I'm working with my OG deck. I've got the Baba Studios Victorian Romantic deck. It is my favorite. And I'm going to go ahead and just put all of the energy of 2016 out of space, out of mind, releasing it, letting it go. And we're going to bring in all of the energy of 2017 and see what these cards have to say. So we're going to start with the first card, and that would be representation of the first house, which is Aries house. But also this is an overall personality card, and a card that's going to give me an idea of what to be expecting in 2016, 17. Hello. In 2017, the card is the 10 of Cups, guys. The 10 of Cups. Thank God. Thank God. I was getting a little nervous there. This is what we all were talking about earlier when we were saying that the energy is going to shift and we're going to be able to come together and we're going to be able to be full of love and full of joy. And I think that this is really talking about the community too, and being able to see, you know, in the traditional Rider-Waite, you see like the rainbow and like the family, and they're standing and they're looking at the rainbow, and it's like the rainbow comes out after the storm. Okay, 2016 was the storm. So the rainbow is out, guys. Sharing time with your loved ones, sharing time with your family, being able to be so appreciative and having your cups full. And really reflecting on the value. I mean, with tens, it's an end of a cycle, but it's a completion in a positive way if it's with the cups. So you can really expect that to be something that's just going to overall be a much, much better theme. We then get into the second house, which is Taurus's house. And so this is also about material goods. It can be about wealth. It can be about the money that we make and things of that nature. So for that card I get the Devil. Okay, so remember what I said when I said we're going to be a little less materialistic this year and the value is going to be more so on the emotions? This tells me the same thing. Okay, and I think also with the preparation of Saturn going into Capricorn, it doesn't get better than this. It does not get better than this. Don't look at this as a bad card. This is an opportunity to be able to break free of what has been going on. And this can be everything from our own personal value system and what's wrong with it. This can also be talking about where we have been oppressed financially, where there has potentially been some play where, you know, people aren't treating you well. The power struggles. We talked about some of these standoffs that we're going to have with Pluto in 2017. You're definitely going to see these themes of the Devil come up where you're going to have to evaluate, are you doing things for the right reason? Does it resonate with you on a spiritual level? Also, for Capricorn, okay, this isn't bad. This is Capricorn's card. And so it's saying getting perspective, being able to get perspective and to be able to rise up and see what's going on. This is also the card that's in relation to Saturn. So we're going to see that Saturn is going to help us build, but it has to be in a positive manner. It can't be in a way that's corrupt. It can't be in a way that is dishonest or does not resonate with us on a spiritual or on an emotional basis. So breaking free of this. Third house for Gemini, communications, writing, short distance travel. But you know, at this point also, guys, we're getting into that May, June of next year, what we're expecting in the May, June of next year. So for that card I get, wow, King of Cups. Okay. So perhaps if we need our cups to be full, we need to be willing to express ourselves, and we need to be willing to be having a handle on how we feel and what we think. And maybe that can't come until we have hit some walls with that Devil card and seeing that we have to remove the barriers and remove the blocks and remove the fear to be able to really say, hi, this is how I feel, and really speak from the heart. And so what better way? I mean, with so many cups so far, guys, this is excellent. You're really going to see that you have the ability to share in love and have more harmonious relationships with people, have more harmonious relationships with siblings, be speaking positively and having the opportunity to speak positively to one another and support and encourage each other rather than put each other down. And you're going to see so much positivity in terms of, you know, I see that as mantras and joy and sharing and putting each other up and supporting each other. Great card. You know, also I see that it's getting away, and if it is the third house and it has to do with travel, it's going to have to do with maybe being able to go away and have short distance trips with a sweetheart, or being able to find emotional connections through getting out and being adventurous. Those trines are just, you guys are going to want to get out of town. You're going to want to do things, whether you want to go out with somebody who you love, who you're close to, or you're wanting to go out and meet new people. It's certainly going to keep things interesting. Now we get into Cancer, which is the fourth house. It has to do with house and home. The card I get for that is the High Priestess. It's my jam. Sorry, guys. I'll edit this for you. There you go, the High Priestess. Great card. I think this is also talking about, with the High Priestess being in the fourth, it's your space to retreat into. It's your space where you feel safe. It's where you're doing your deep spiritual work. It's also knowing that things are going to be shifting and things are going to be changing. Knowing that, you know, perhaps if you're going to do your spiritual work, you have to have a space where you're feeling protected and you're feeling very connected, and doing work to connect and to clear also through your family stuff. I mean, you may potentially get so many intuitive insights and hits, especially as we're getting closer to Jupiter getting into Scorpio, to bridge the gaps in family issues, in ancestral issues, to do deep-seated spiritual work from the home, to keep your home a spiritual space and protected and cleared and decluttered. Yeah, I love that card. I love that card for the 4th house. So getting into the 5th house for Leo, we have romance, leisure, children, theater, drama. And remember, this is now July, August of next year. The card I pull is the moon. Whoa. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I feel like we're going to start off so positive, and we're going to start off so open and so enthusiastic and excited and loving each other. And as we're getting into the summer, we're feeling things coming. We're feeling things changing. So the High Priestess and the moon, you know, the moon in the 5th house is emotionally, what don't we see? What aren't we connecting to? Are we working with the moon? Are we working with the shadow side? Are we listening to our intuition? Both of these cards are intuition cards, guys, both of them. So it's guiding you through. And it's also, I think it's going to be a surge of the consciousness rising, people picking up on that changes are coming. I know these eclipses are going to be pretty significant next summer. And I think that you're going to see people start to pick up on it and also starting to wonder, what can we do? How can we connect creatively and spiritually, bring it together? I also think that the moon in the 5th house is so maternal. It can be births, it can be new beginnings, it can be where you're lending your energy to, what you create and what you work on at night. And being in the 5th house, you know, it's ruled by the sun, it's Leo, it's the divine masculine and the feminine. It could be new beginnings, it could be births. Now we get into Virgo. So the 6th house, daily routine, health, you know, your immediate workspace. And we're also just about getting ready to tip into the fall with Virgo. For that card, I have the 2 of Wands. So having an open perspective, being ready, considering the various outcomes before you make moves. I think that you're going to see a lot of changes going on, especially in, you know, the July, August time. And once we get out of that and we get closer into September, you're going to see that people's views and plans are going to be changing. They're going to be pivoting. We're going to be making decisions based off of what's going on as a result of these eclipses. But it's still a very positive card. Now we get into Libra, and that 7th house. So, you know, open partnerships, marital relationships, partners, potentially even business partners. Let's see what I've got here. Okay, I like this card. We've got the Lovers. So choices and decisions, making choices and decisions, making some difficult decisions as well. I mean, you have to understand at this time, Jupiter is at the latter end of Libra. You know, it's getting ready to go into Scorpio. So it's really saying, how can you apply the lessons that you have been learning from this placement in your relationships, in your partnerships, and making some decisions to allow you to really bring it together and perhaps maybe commit. Maybe you have choices. Libras always have choices, ruled by Venus. And making decisions. And now, you know, this is also, I consider this the card associated with Gemini. We've got all of these, you know, positive, almost like trines in a sense, depending on what you guys have going on in your charts. But you're going to see that also Gemini and Aquarius benefit from having Jupiter in Libra. So this is the card for Gemini. So you could also be going back to some lessons and some things that you were learning around the time of May, June. They could be repeating. You're asking yourself to, you know, maybe make a choice, especially because I believe shortly after that time, Jupiter goes direct. So anything that you learned during the retrograde of Jupiter and then going direct will perhaps cultivate at this time. Now we've got Scorpio. So shared resources, taxes, death, you know, other people's money, sex. Scorpio loves that. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on for that 8th house. Okay, these are some really good cards. The sun. The sun. What an odd place to have it for the 8th house, huh, Scorpios? We like that. We like that darkness. I love it. I love that. I think that it's basically saying clarity. Clarity about what's going on in terms of our lending situations. Clarity going on in terms of our own personal power. Seeing that we have the ability to access that energy and use it in a positive way and not abuse it. I mean, not abuse it. I can say that. I'm a Scorpio. We have so much power and so much feeling that at times we don't know what to do with it. But it takes a little bit of a light to illuminate the dark. And so this card is really going to show us where we are moving, where we're going into. Plus, we're going to get Jupiter. We're going to get Jupiter. I'm ready for it. I'm so ready for it. And I think that you're going to see Scorpios really expand, and we're going to open up. I mean, we got our butts kicked by Saturn. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, but still, we got our butts kicked by Saturn. So moving forward, getting Jupiter, bringing that in, I think you're going to see a lighter side. I think you're going to see some really evolved Scorpios. That's what I really think is going to happen. Now we get into the 9th house, which has to do with, you know, religion, philosophy, higher education, foreign travel. Sag, this is you guys. This is you, Sag. Woof. 9 of Pentacles. Okay, guys, this is great. So independence, being able to be independent, especially after Saturn has been where it's been for you guys. I know that can be a restricting energy. But man, is it really going to teach you guys how to really apply yourselves and do well in the long term. And enjoy. This is the treat yourself card. That's what I call this. Enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy reaping the benefits of the hard work that you've been doing. And seeing that you're really going to move forward and you're going to progress forward. And, you know, we're at the end of the year now. So this is that November going into December time for Sagittarius, and seeing things really, really open up, like really open up. Now we're going to move into Capricorn. My Cappies, I hope you guys are alive and breathing with this retrograde, because man, has it been something else. Career and status in 2017, what to expect. What can we be expecting from our career worlds and what's going on there? I'm on fire today. Wheel of Fortune, guys. Look at that. I'm like, I'm just going to keep pulling cards, and I'm going to let this speak for itself. Matters of fate. Matters of fate. And I think that this is so applicable for right now. We're seeing where we are reevaluating and needing to get prepared for Saturn to enter Capricorn, because this is going to affect everybody. Everybody, because within a matter of years, we're going to have Saturn. We're going to have Jupiter. Pluto's already there. It's going to be a party. But in terms of what we're doing out in the world, it's not just about money, and I don't want to talk about the stuff that people get into the nitty gritty about how Capricorn isn't great. I think that there are 2 sides to every sign, and it's what we decide to access and what we decide to use. But with this 10th house, we will be evolved. We're going to do more. We're going to get bigger. We're going to see opportunities that are going to be presented to us that are literally twists of fate. Literally twists of fate. So positive career changes, but also things that are changing for the better, and they are meant to happen. Now, we're getting into 2018, guys. Isn't that scary? So now moving forward, the 11th house is Aquarius. And so this has to do with our hopes, our dreams, our wishes, our friends, our associations. It's the house of awards and honors, and how we're going to be honored. What are we going to get? What are we going to get from this? Let's take a look. Oh, 10 of Pentacles. How many 10s have we pulled? We pulled the 10 of Cups. Okay, I guess just 2. The 10 of Cups. I love this. I love this because I think when I look at the zodiac wheel, it's not until we get to like the 11th house that we can like chill, and we can be so appreciative of everything that we've done and what we've worked towards. But between what we see with the Wheel of Fortune in the 10th house and the 10 of Pentacles in the 11th house, my goodness, I mean, this is anything that you put your mind to. This is dependability, stability, being able to create your own reality. And I know I said that a lot, but really being able to utilize your lessons and what you have learned through working and coming from the heart. I really think that more than ever in this next year, we're going to see so many people wake up and make some changes and make some decisions about what they've got going on and what they're doing for a living. That's what I think. And so as we move forward from that, we take all the blessings from the twist of fate in the 10th. We have the appreciation and the abundance of everything that's going on in the 11th, and we move into the 12th. And so I always joke, I've had a lot of astrologers say to me that they don't waste their time with the 12th house because it's unpredictable. But I still recognize that as Pisces house and things that we need to watch out for, even if we can't control it. Things that are kind of just lurking. They're there, they're there. There are things that are going to present themselves, and there are things that definitely do change, and they happen for a reason. They affect the status quo. It can also be slightly karmic to an extent between that and the 8th house. So the card that I pull is the Judgment card. So, I mean, going into 2018, it's certainly going to be a ride where whatever lessons and experiences you have in 2017, 2018 is going to be the final judgment. We already kind of know this, maybe, I mean, that's my opinion. We know that things will be dramatically different in the world in 2018 and 2019. We know that perhaps, what if this is the final judgment? I mean, what if this really is the time where the decisions and the choices that we make and how we live our life and how we treat people and how we work our jobs and how we treat our bodies and how we connect to source. What if all of this next year and the abundance and everything that comes in an emotional sense is to show us where we need to really be appreciative and humble and making changes to be in alignment with our higher selves. And then comes the Judgment card, and it lets you know that it may be coming out of nowhere. There may be a twist of fate in the world in general where whatever work you have been doing over this next year will dramatically impact moving forward. And it'll also give you the opportunity to reflect. I think that the Judgment card can be a card for reflection, not just actual literal judgment, but you being able to judge what you've done, what you're doing. My gosh, there wasn't a bad card there. I was like, man, this was 2016. It would have been like sword, sword, sword. So I'm really glad that it was more positive, and I think it ended on a really great note. Going to switch over here, getting into being able to give you guys your highlights now for your each individual zodiac. I'm going to do it a little bit different. So what I would like to do is I'm going to pull 7 cards for each sign, and each card is going to represent a different planet. And I want you guys to know, now that you have the energy of 2017 and what to be expecting, what you can be expecting specifically from some of these planetary influences on you over this next year, to give you a little bit more specific. And so as always with this stuff, you guys want to be listening to your sun sign, your ascendant sign, and your moon sign. So do pay attention if I note that way you can kind of make a couple notes for yourself. And this is going to be a combination, obviously, of psychic predictions, but also tarot and astrology. So it's going to be a little bit different looking at this. Let's go ahead and get started. I want to talk about Aries. I'm really excited to see Aries grow this year. That's the big thing that I'm noting for you guys, is that you guys are really going to grow and you're really going to expand. Everybody is, but I'm going to see it with them. I'm really seeing it also with the fire signs in general, because they're going to have the opportunity to really show and strut their stuff after having had so many planets moving, outer planets moving through fire signs. So getting into Aries, we're going to start with the moon and work our way all the way through Saturn. So the moon being self-image, the sun being self-image, the moon being your emotions, Mercury being your thoughts and communications, Venus being your love life, Mars being your energy and your drive, Jupiter being your luck, and Saturn being your restriction. So for Aries, man, what are we going to get for Aries self-image? What does Aries want to project into the world this year? Okay, 7 of Cups. Okay, look at the positive side of this. And this is I love this card, but I feel like this is very applicable. Really narrowing things down and figuring things out and having a really clear idea of what path you're going at. Now, I like that it provides options. I like that it provides the ability for you to have a choice. I think that the biggest thing is to really pay attention during those 2 major transits of the retrograde to remove the haziness and allow you to move forward and feel good about what you're seeing and feel good about what you're doing in the world and how you're carrying yourself and how you're expressing yourself. Now for the moon and Aries emotions, woof, so many 7s. 7 of Wands. Realize this. With these 2 cards together, you do not have to be emotionally reactive, which can be hard for Aries, okay? My moon's in Aries. I'm like I'll pop off all the time, but realize that you have the opportunity to get the clarity that you need once you have allowed yourself to have the time and space to just be. It doesn't have to be go, go, go this year. I think that you have a vantage point with this card. I think that it's going to give you somewhere to look off of and have an idea of where you want to be going in terms of your relationships or in terms of how you're feeling about people or situations. Mercury, for your thoughts, world. I mean, yeah, it's really supporting these cards, saying being able to wrap things up and really, after having the ability to express yourself and to take in all of the activity that's going on and process the thoughts, the world is saying you will complete those patterns. You will complete your thoughts. You'll be able to wrap things up. You'll be able to bring things together. So that's very positive for Aries. Now we get into Mars, which you love. This is your energy and your drive. 6 of Cups. Whoa. Whoa. What if this is all about getting out of your own head and allowing things to just happen as they may and not rushing things and not being defensive and allowing yourself to be innocent and allowing yourself to connect and to have a soul connection and not being afraid of a soul connection, wanting it, pursuing it, instead of the Venus retrograde being me, what do I need, what do I want? It's, well, I want a partner, or I want to be able to have a spiritual connection or soul connection. Jupiter, for your luck, the Justice card. I mean, you can make this stuff up. It's definitely relationships. Come on, Aries. This is it. You got it. You've had Uranus going through your house for so long. That's making you change. That's making you open up. It made you reactive, but it had to do that to give you the range of the partners, the experiences, everything that you have had thus far to get to this point. Karmic relationships, balance, fairness. Your counterpart, Libra. Last and not least, Saturn, the card that we have for you for Saturn, for your restrictions and what you need to be aware of, that's also helping you build your foundation. Boom. Ace of Wands. Fire trines. It's the fire trines. You're going to see this. Pay attention to those dates. I'm sure we're going to do more videos about that. I'm positive. We're going to be talking to you guys and guiding you through that energy and how to work with that energy, because it's going to be very explosive. But Saturn and the Ace of Wands, it's just basically don't overexert yourself. This isn't something you're going to race through. This is going to be literally, it's going to be a year-long process. you're going to see that your priorities are going to kind of come together in a very different way than what you're used to, and it's going to be so great. I'm so excited for Aries. I really want to see this happen for you guys, because you have come a long way. You guys have done a lot of work, and there's been a lot of responsibility that you've taken on, and personal responsibility for your own personal development, your own personal growth. So that was Aries. We're now going to move into Taurus, my little bulls, and see what you guys have got going on for you this year with your Sun card and how you want to project yourself. Page of Pentacles. Woof! Okay, so here's the thing with the Page of Pentacles. This is also a me card. This is learning lessons. This is also wanting to place or placing an interest in being able to improve yourself or find something to better value yourself. It can be a little selfish. It's about you having the opportunity to focus on you and being open to learning and being open to evolving. So I also see that as a student card. For Taurus's moon, we have, let's see, the Seven of Pentacles. Lots of pentacles for you, Taurus. Planting your seeds and watching it grow. I think that it's going to be interesting to see these two paired together for the Sun and the Moon, because it is suggesting that before you go making any major involvement in relationships or commitments to relationships, you have to value yourself first. You will be thinking about yourself first, and good for you. You take such good care of partners. You take such good care of people who you work with, of your loved ones. I think that you can have a tendency to be really focused on providing and being able to just get the job done. And so there is going to be energy that's allowing you to pull back and reflect more on yourself. Now, you're also going to see this because as we have some of the retrogrades going through your 12th house, it's reflection. It's reflection. It's pulling back. It's taking care of you. It's preparing. Mercury for you, 10 of Pentacles. Boom. How good is that? The 10 of Pentacles for you in this sense is, I think that your thoughts are potentially, come on, Pentacles, Pentacles, Pentacles. Your thoughts are worth their weight in gold. What you may be working on, what you may be thinking about, what you may be writing, how you express yourself, valuing the things that you think will be very significant and potentially even financially pay off for you this year. Now we get into Venus. You love Venus. It's your ruling planet. And here it is. Oh my gosh, I couldn't make this up. More Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles for your love life. Wow. Valuing, I see this as like the divine feminine, valuing the connection that you have with women in your life, appreciating them, taking care of them. Maybe if you're single, someone's coming in, and it would be an earth sign, or it would be someone who could potentially even provide guidance in showing you the value of love, how to love yourself more. Through you loving yourself more, bringing in a partner who is doing the same, who has done the work, who is not a HGTV project. You don't have to fix them up or paint them. They're just ready to go. And so someone who is equal to you, Taurus, someone who is equal to you, who has something to offer you, something of value. Getting into Mars and your energy and your drive this year. Two of Wands. Second time I think we've seen this. Two of Wands. Being open and being open to new possibilities and new ideas, and being positive, and analyzing all of the different ways that things can go, but in a positive manner, and where you're ready to move and you're ready to move forward. You stand facing the sea and seeing the endless possibilities before you. For Jupiter and your card for luck, look at that, Four of Wands. Temporary spaces, interactions, this can be the arts, this can be performance, this can be music, this can be going to places and doing things that would be lucky for you. sharing and celebrating as well. I mean, you know, I love the Wands and the Pentacle combination. It's through getting grounded, allowing yourself to have the opportunity to be really open and to let go a little bit of your responsibility so you can have fun. And last but not least, we have Saturn. And for this card, I get Judgment again. So allowing yourself to realize that there can be a balance of, I guess, maybe fun and relationships, having a balance of what you're choosing to do based off of your own personal value system changing, how your value system changes and how that reflects in the partnerships that you have, making decisions, choosing to go forward with those decisions, and them lasting. So that was for Taurus. We're now going to move forward into Gemini and give you some of your Gemini predictions. It's my little buddy back here. He just woke up from a nap. So let's see what's good in the hood for Gem. Let's take a look here for your self-image. 3 of Pentacles. Bada boom, bada bing. I love this. This is great, especially because I remember talking about with one of the last lunar cycles, the opportunity for Gemini, I think it was the new moon in Capricorn, to really focus on what's going on with the financial situation, to get a solid handle on it, and to move forward and feel confident. With that 3 of Pentacles coming up, you're going to work. Excuse me, you're going to work. So you're going to be seeing that you have the opportunity to really hone in on your craft, on your skills, to be proving yourself. And you've got, you know, Jupiter that's in Libra. Work it. Use this connection that you have socially with other people to show off what you can do, because you guys are going to do it. You're going to have the opportunity to get appreciation for what you're working on and acknowledgement and recognition for what you're working on. You deserve it. Then we get into the moon, Gemini's emotions, Page of Swords. Okay. Perhaps maybe being more, the need to be a little bit more aware of not just saying things off the cuff. The Page of Swords can be a message. It can be emotional messages and downloads and things that you're getting intuitively, but also be cautious and aware of how you go about relaying those messages. It's important because, you know, I think of a page as a little kid. You got a little kid running around with a sword. You know, that's not necessarily the safest situation. So you really want to be aware of not just saying things that come to mind, being aware of how you come across and how, you know, how your tone sounds even, and the messages that you may relay to people. Then we've got Mercury and thoughts. Ooh, Death card. So definitely, this is definitely backing that up, that you're going through changes in terms of how you're going to be thinking and how you're going to be expressing yourself. And so you're going to have to find a new way to do that. You're going to have to find a healthy way to do that. You're going to have to find a way, maybe, and I think you'll see this expand even more so throughout the year, but to find a different way to express yourself and to not be afraid to express yourself, to do it without the fear that you're going to lose something or the fear of vulnerability seems to be a big theme right now. Then we get into Venus for your love life, and there we have the World. Wow. So, I mean, listen, those are 2 cycle and ending like cards. So the one thing that I want to tell you is that maybe in order for you to expand, and this, I'm seeing this not just romantically, but in general, your friends, this is your coworkers, this is where you're working, these are projects you're working on. Don't be afraid to say bye-bye. Don't be afraid to say, you know, I think this is over. I think this is done. Be positive. Replace the fear with excitement. That's the best thing that I can tell you. Honor those endings because they bring new beginnings. Now we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now we're getting into Mars for your energy and for your drive. 6 of Pentacles. Awesome. So being able to do multiple things, being able to help others, people being able to help you, putting all of your effort and everything that you're doing to the best ability that you can, doing things for a good reason. I'm seeing it being, that's a positive card to be pulling for Mars, because it's not overexerting your energy or your power. Then we get into Jupiter for Gemini's luck. Ooh, your card, the Lovers. So who knows? You know, I always tell people when I do readings, it's always interesting. It's, oh my gosh, I lost my job. And then they move, and then they meet someone. You know, all these changes come together. So I'm seeing a pattern here with Gemini. I'm seeing it. And I think Jupiter is going to help. That if things are coming to the end of a road, let it go, says the Death card. The Lovers is giving you new opportunities and new things. New things are showing up, new romantic opportunities. I mean, I've said that for all the air signs, but it's actually really showing itself here in this spread. And then we get into Saturn and the restriction. 8 of Wands, not rushing through the changes, letting the changes happen organically, allowing them to happen the way that they should, not overexerting yourself or your energy, not pushing forward too fast, you know, having discernment. I mean, especially with the Lovers card coming up first, I think, especially in matters of business, you know, that Venus energy is also about money. It's not going to be a get rich quick situation. It's not going to be anything like that. It's going to be 3 of Pentacles is working with other people and really making the most of your abilities to see an excellent long-term return. Be that in relationships or other people, but it all starts with your frame of mind and how you're thinking with that Page of Swords. So that was the wrap up for Gemini. Now we move into our crabs. Look at Cancer and see what we can tell Cancer this year. Starting with your Sun, 6 of Wands. Yes, recognition. People recognizing you. Those squares are not easy. They're not easy. But I think you're really going to start seeing some recognition for some of the stuff that you're doing. And I think that people are going to be really warm and really welcoming towards you and wanting to work with you. And then we've got the Moon. Okay. So, okay, perfect. 6 of Cups again. So I like the 6 of Wands and the 6 of Cups. To me, that's talking about going back home. Well, now, you know, you are the ruler of the 4th house, so that's only appropriate. That maybe you'll be connecting a lot with your family. Maybe you're going back home. Maybe you're moving back home. Maybe you're traveling. This is also reconnecting. The Sun and the Moon could be the divine masculine and the feminine. It can be the parents. So a lot of family energy coming in here, children energy coming in here, reminiscing about the past or connecting to the past or to when times were a lot more simple. Mercury representing your thoughts. Once again, we have the World. So great. So many different signs are having the opportunity to wrap things up this year. But this is super important for you because it's going to remove the anxiety factor. It's going to remove the what if. It's going to be allowing you to completely move forward and detach from old patterns. So if there are things holding you back associated with your family, this is going to clear that. Your love life. Oh my gosh, all these 6s. 6 of Wands, 6 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles. So look for what's going on in June and July, guys. That's pretty significant with those numbers. But getting into being able to have a shared situation, if you're dealing with the fear aspect of abandonment or things that have happened in the past and wanting to be more receptive of sharing in community efforts, being involved in a relationship, having a better relationship with your family. The 6 of Pentacles for Venus is basically saying you're bringing in a nurturing energy where it's going to be an exchange and it's going to be equal. It's also going to benefit you from, in a way, if you are giving back to others. I see that as it being a cycle. So you may be wanting to do some community work and connecting with other people, or connecting and helping taking care of family. And that's going to help some of these things go full circle for you. Now we move into Mars, which has to do with your energy drive. And here we have the Hierophant. So yeah, I'm really seeing a lot of like Cancer, you know, family stuff going on this year, and honoring the tradition and honoring the understanding and the responsibilities that comes with your upbringing or comes with your home base. Then we get into Jupiter, Two of Pentacles. So, you know, where you are going to see a little bit more is you're going to have to be, you're going to have to be balancing. You're going to have to be managing things. If you're managing your family and another family, if you're managing a position and taking care of your family, you really need to hone in on how much is too much, needing to ask for help with that Six of Pentacles. I think that the card is very similar in terms of people coming in to help you. And then we get into Saturn, and the card that I get for that is the Seven of Swords. So this goes back to the trust issues. This goes back to watching out and not necessarily putting all of your eggs in one basket, knowing who you can trust, maybe perhaps clearing up areas of distrust. The big thing that Saturn wants to remind you is to not hold grudges, to let it go, to be receptive of new relationships coming in, and healthier situations in regards to your home or your family. So that was for Cancer. We're now going to move into our Leos, the Lions, and see what we've got going on for you guys there. For your sun and self-image, we have the Chariot, okay? Which is so appropriate for you guys this year. It's about really getting clear about what direction you're going in and what you're doing, and taking the bull by the horns, taking the reins and deciding what direction you're going in, and taking responsibility for the direction that your life or your career is going in as well. For the moons and your emotion, for the card that I pulled for that is, oh, that's a sweet card, the Page of Cups. Okay, so it's emotional exchanges and interactions. I was talking to somebody earlier, and I was asking them about their opinions of the eclipses that are coming and how it's going to affect Leos. And she seemed to think that it was going to be a situation where we're going to see Leos kind of pivot a little bit and be a little bit more open and willing to run towards relationships. And to not be afraid of relationships and be more willing to commit to relationships, especially because of Saturn's interactions. And so I think with the Page of Cups is it's just reminding you emotionally to be open and joyous, and to share, and to want to exchange, and to want to be loved, and to want to give love, and being so emotionally open this year. It's going to be really, really positive. Then we get into Mercury and your thought process, and the card that I get for that is, let's see, okay, the Three of Wands. Three of Wands. So for the Three of Wands to be coming up, it's basically saying planning ahead, you know, planning ahead and talking about your ideas and talking about your dreams and leading with your heart, and being able to not just talk about it, but make it happen, to realize the power that your thoughts have and your words have. I love it. I love it. Now let's look at your Venus for your love life. The card I get is, oh, Ten of Cups. So it's definitely about you guys finding your happiness. And you know what? If those eclipses need to come through in order to clean house, to shake things up, to put things in perspective, so be it. So be it, because it's going to also bring people into your life, or into your home, or into your world, that want to share happiness with you and want to be with you. And it's going to make you realize that you're ready to kind of bring that in. The energy that we have here for Mars, Queen of Swords, that can be iffy for Mars. So not only being aware of what you say, but not being too aggressive with things. I think that this is saying you're going to get a lot further in a loving manner, and being aware that, once again, your words have power. You're manifesting things, you're saying things, because we're getting into such higher levels, I think, of the evolved collective consciousness, and more people are checked in. Things happen so much faster than they ever have before. We're seeing things manifest so much faster, and you're going to really see it for Leos in 2017. Now we have got Jupiter. Oh my gosh, the Lover's card. How many times are we going to pull this? So there it is. I mean, having choices and choosing between people, choosing between situations, having the opportunity to choose between being solo or wanting to be in a partnership. I think that this is going to be super positive for you guys. And then getting into Saturn. And what does Saturn want you guys to know? Okay, come on, cards. Nine of Pentacles. So don't fear a connection. Don't fear something. It's not gonna steal your spotlight. It's not gonna take away from you. It's gonna give you everything that you need. It might be that 2 is better than 1 this year, Leo. It may very well be that's the case, because all of the cards that are coming up are letting you know it doesn't have to be at a rushed pace. It can just be something that happens organically, which I love. So now we're going to get into Virgo, and I'm going to give you what those highlights look like. All right. Shake things up a bit so we're not getting the same cards here. So Virgo, your sun, your self-image, and the card that we get is the Emperor. Yeah, you want that card. Owning it. I've gotten a chance to talk to a couple Virgos recently, and I think that they've been doing really well since they had they had Jupiter go through their sign and then work its way into their financial house. So you're really seeing that you're starting to feel good about the choices and the changes that you're making. You're empowering yourself. You're independent. That with the sun is like, I'm my own boss. I'm in charge of myself. I've already worked with this energy and seen what it does and seen what I'm capable of creating. And now I'm cooking with gas. Your moon, for your emotional sense, here is the Page of Wands. So allowing yourself to have more fun, emotionally being creative, finding a way to have an outlet through creative opportunities, and showing your emotions through creative opportunities and through art. Then we've got Mercury for your thoughts and how that makes you feel or think. 2 of Swords. So I can see this as some indecisiveness. It's being selective in particular with what you decide to share, which is fine. Don't give away any of those trade secrets of your guys' success. But also I can see that as a nervous energy. And I just want to remind you that, you know, since you are very fond of Mercury, there's no need for you to go back and forth and second guess yourself. Really listen to your own internal guidance. Really look at what's happened the past 2 years and how you've been able to really shift some things positively for you. Now we're moving on to your Venus. With that, I get the King of Wands. Beautiful. Look at that progression when we had the Page and now we have the King. And so this is really saying for your love life, you're taking the initiative. For how you're making money, you're taking the initiative. Perhaps maybe what is a side project or something that's purely there to help entertain you or to de-stress you could be something that's so much more that you can evolve and grow into and fall in love with. For your Mars energy, we have, 2 of Cups. So yeah, I mean, being able to run towards opportunities of working with other people may be able to give you opportunities to connect and to work on or hone in on your own individual creative sense. And then we've got Jupiter for your luck. And for that, I have the Hierophant. So, I mean, wow, go and take a class. Go and take a class. Go and do something fun. You know, go and do something that you're going to enjoy. You have to remember also, in your 3rd house this year, you have Libra. And you have Jupiter. So it's giving you guys the opportunity to, what am I saying? We've got Virgo, then we have Libra, then we have Scorpio. Jupiter will be going into your third house. You have the opportunity to see all kinds of changes in terms of how you go from the abundance that you have made into pushing your way into how you're changing the way that you communicate and how you express yourself. So, you know, you should have the opportunity also to put more into the creative projects that you're working on and get more out of it. And I see like it being emotional gifts. It's like, instead of talking about how you feel, this is what I've created, this is what I've put all my work and my love and everything into, and I want to give this to you. So powerful. And now we move into, let's see here, I believe we were on Jupiter. So now we're going to move into Saturn and what the restriction brings for you. And for that, I have the 5 of Cups. Well, at least the Saturn are the rougher cards. So what you need to be looking at and acknowledging as something that could be restrictive. I see this as the crying over spilt milk card. So don't take things personal. Try again, especially if you're working on newer projects this year. It may take you some time to kind of get the hang of it. Don't take it personally. Don't allow past issues to affect the present or the future. Don't be second guessing yourself. Be believing in yourself and trusting in yourself, guys. So now that we're done with that, we are going to be moving into Libra. So Libra guys, here we go. This is already a lucky year for you. We want to be looking at your sun and your self-image, how you feel, how you're going to come across to people, what you're going to think. Wow, the world is yours, baby. You guys got it this year. There's so many positive aspects. I see this also as an opportunity to start new cycles. You have wrapped up old cycles. Even when you're seeing the retrograde, it's going to have very positive, harmonious aspects to other planets, and I don't really feel like it's going to be hitting you entirely too hard. You have the opportunity also with this to clear karma, So really potentially even wrapping up, if it's your sun, wrapping up, you know, career stuff or things that you feel like are ready to change. Then we get into the moon and the emotional card, and for that we get the 6 of Swords. So definitely lending energy to that world card, allowing yourself to push forward and to make some emotional changes and leave room for growth. I love it. For Mercury and thoughts, we have the Sun. So happy thoughts, positive thoughts. Okay, one thing ended, we're moving to another thing. Jupiter is amazing because it magnifies and it will give us new beginnings, but it will also bring endings. And that's not what, we don't talk about that enough. We don't talk about how it will trigger things to bring in the new. So in this case, for your thoughts, happy thoughts and keeping a positive attitude and knowing that the planets are on your side, that anything that ends for a reason is positive. And for Venus and your love life, we've got the Queen of Cups. So it definitely is about emotionally moving forward. You know, moving forward. When Jupiter entered in 0 degrees Libra, man, it was happening because it was reminding us new relationships and partnerships will be starting of all kinds. Now for Mars energy and drive, the card that I have here is the 8 of Cups. So knowing when to walk away, not aggressively, because Mars can be aggressive. It can be running away, but knowing when to walk away and put the intention and put the energy into actually doing that, walking away. Then we've got Jupiter, and that being about your luck. 8 of Wands. I look at the 8 of Cups, that's like leaving it and running towards something new. Jupiter really is telling you whatever ends, it's bringing you new beginnings this year. Then we get into Saturn and how Saturn is restricting you and what you need to be knowing about that. And that card is the 3 of Swords. So don't focus on the past. Don't get hung up on the past. Don't be bummed out about the past. Let the past go. You know, heartbreak is not restricting. It's uplifting. I mean, when you get to the other side of it, it literally will set you free. And so anything that ends this year, Libra, let it go. Know that it's happening because it's a new you this year. It's a new you. Let's take a look and see what we can pull now for Scorpio. Let me go ahead and give this another shuffle. All right. How are you guys doing? Everybody doing well? Sitting through this? You're hanging in there? All right, my Scorpios. Let's take a look at what we need to know about your sun this year. Oh, goodness. The Empress. It's the rebirth. This is the rebirth. This is the rebirth, okay? Because your card is the Death card. This card is the Empress. This is about a new beginning. You are going to see things getting ready to open up. Now, we still have Jupiter going through your 12th house, so you're getting ready in the fall to really have your new beginning, but this starts with nurturing yourself and taking care of yourself. So remember that. You have to do that, and you have to do the work in order to be around and hanging on tight next year. For the moon and for the emotional sense, Page of Pentacles. Did somebody else get this? I feel like somebody else got this. Valuing yourself and taking care of yourself. Also placing a value on learning more about yourself, learning more about your emotions, learning through your emotions, and maybe having a little bit more of an interest in some other topics this year and wanting to do some research into other topics and becoming interested in that. I mean, I love Jupiter transits in the 12th. I think that they can be super, super positive in giving us the opportunity to learn things. I mean, I had mine last year. I took a bunch of classes and got some certifications, and it's a great way to give yourself the opportunity to decompress and to work on yourself. And so you may be doing that this year. For Mercury, for your thoughts and for your communication, I have, okay, 5 of Cups. So it's another one. Having to, once again, walk away from things that don't serve you, but also not getting too attached or too hung up on the past, not having to feel like you have to talk about the past so much, and feeling like, you know, whatever happened, it's done, it's in the past, I don't have to harp on it. Then for Venus and your love life, I have the Magician. So intentions and seeds in the beginning of something new, and that's so true as we're getting ready for Jupiter to come hang out in your sign. It's the seed, it's the beginning. It's not there yet, but it's starting, it's coming, it's gonna be there soon. And also bringing together all of these different elements. It's something out of your control. It's something that's being controlled by the universe. Then for Mars, for your energy and your drive, I have the Moon. So using your intuition, being very clear about where you're going. Mars, I see it as like running or driving, and you don't want to be doing that in the dark. So make sure before you make any decisions or before you have any reactions, you're really feeling it out, and you're really checking in with yourself and seeing how you're feeling and if you're feeling it and how you're feeling it. Now we've got Jupiter, which is about luck, and the card I get is Ace of Cups. So doing things with love, but also being blessed with having new opportunities for love or loving situations. Your cup being full, excellent card for Jupiter. Emotional connections. And then for Saturn, what do we have? Restriction. The Devil card. Well, that's appropriate. So breaking these old patterns. Some of you guys are going to be breaking old emotional patterns. Some of you guys are going to be breaking patterns with how you eat or how you're drinking or physical activity or what you're wanting to change. Starting this work this year is so positive, and I think that it's just going to make you aware of where you may not be doing the work you need to be doing, or where you may be overdoing it and needing to pull back a little bit. And I think that card can actually be positive. You pulled the Saturn card for Saturn, so I mean you've got it. You've learned these lessons already. Now we move into Sagittarius. All right, Sag, let's see what we've got going on for your sun. Okay, so we have the Hangman. I like it. I like it. I think it's giving you the opportunity to pause and take a look and be discerning, but also not be reactive and not running into something and not feeling like, you know, you're stuck. I think people look at this card and you see it as you're stuck, but I don't see that being the case. I think it's actually helping you open things up and see other perspectives. For the moon, I get the Six of Pentacles. So this is also being able to get perspective, I think, from other people and how that's going to make you feel a little bit better emotionally and how you're going to be able to connect a little bit better emotionally. For Mercury and your thoughts, I have the Wheel of Fortune. Realizing that, you know, really good advice, I think, can be coming to you this year through others, and it may be from people you would never even expect it to come from. Then we move on to Venus and your love life. Three of Wands, being open to that, being open to what's coming in, but also keeping your eyes on the horizon and waiting for it to come in and waiting for you to make this announcement, this grand announcement of love, of what you want, of what you need, of where you're putting your value. And then we get into Mars for your energy drive. Once again, the Ace of Cups. So many cups coming up now. People kind of starting to realize emotionally where things lie and what they want and what they need. Then we get into Jupiter for Sagittarius, and the card is, let's see, all right, King of Cups, so many cups. Having emotional connections and also doing things or making changes when I put these together that you're emotionally connected to, that you are in alignment with, that you want. And then last but not least, we have the card for Saturn, and that card is, okay, the Chariot. So how do I see this? Making sure you have a clear direction with where you're going, maybe perhaps not allowing yourself to get lost in some of the illusions. I see the Hangman as a Pisces card, so it can also be talking about Neptune's influence on you this year, and really have a clear sense of where you're going, and not overexerting yourself, and also really keeping, you know, you've got these two horses, you need to have a tight hold on the reins to make sure that they're not going out of control. So that's going to be something that's really positive for you as well. But you're also finishing up your run with Saturn, so I think that you have the chops to really make things happen this year. I think that you're definitely going to do it. Now we're going to get into Capricorn, making our way through the zodiac. So getting into Capricorn now, and what Cap needs to know about their sun and their self-image doesn't get better than the King of Pentacles on top of it. And you gotta be. I mean, you've had 2 retrogrades in your sign, Saturn showing up later this year. I think that a lot of you guys are going to be prepared because you work so hard anyway. You have that higher vantage point anyway. And then the Moon card is the 8 of Pentacles. So, of course, work. But also taking pride and appreciation in what you're doing. I see the 8 of Pentacles as really nailing it and doing so well. Mercury for thoughts is the 7 of Wands, excuse me. So being able to not be defensive. Don't be defensive. I could see this as you getting some constructive criticism and people who are going to be helping you this year or giving you some perspective. And don't be defensive. You know, just roll with it. Know that whatever is going on for a reason. It's happening because you have the opportunity to improve what you're working on and improve what you're doing. For Venus and your love life, Ace of Swords. I see this as directing your energy and potentially even making time, but contracts in regards to money, contracts, karmic contracts, things that need to be said and things that need to be done, being able to trim the fat. If you're needing to cut out time in your schedule for love, this could very well be it. Mars and your energy drive, what you need to be aware of in that sense. And for that card, I have the, all right, 5 of Pentacles. So that kind of seems like an odd card to be pulling for Mars. I think if anything, it's wanting to put so much energy to move away from that. Realize that if you are going at a 10 all the time, you're going to burn yourself out and you're not going to necessarily have the physical stamina that you want or that you need. So don't be all engines burning all the time. I mean, you got to give yourself some downtime. Otherwise, in the long run, you may not be able to be as productive as you'd like to be because you're just going all the time. For Jupiter and luck, the card I pull is the Ten of Cups. So once again, valuing the emotional connections, and that's being something that's very important for you this year and something that you're going to be focusing on and doing and participating in, and it's being brought to you. You're gonna have it. You're gonna have this around you. I also think that's going to be very family oriented. And last but not least, we have Saturn, the restriction card, and what you need to know about those restrictions. For that, I have the Knight of Swords. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you extend. Listen to your tone. This is also about how you're delivering messages, how you're speaking, and how you're saying things and how it's coming in. This is people who come in to help you. People may be telling you what to do. And if people are telling you what to do, and be polite and obviously stand your ground, you will, but don't allow people's perspectives to affect you and your self-worth or take it personally, and know how to deal with these King of Swords or these Knights of Swords, because they can be a little bit swift and can hurt your feelings. So that was for Capricorn. We're now going to move into Aquarius. Almost done here, guys. So those of you guys who are still watching, I see you. I see those of you guys who are watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to pull up the self-image card, the Sun card for Aquarius. And for that card, I get the Nine of Cups. Of course, Aquarius is going to have a good year as well. I mean, you're going to get your wishes fulfilled. And that's your house for the 11th house. So you'll see opportunities of things that you have been wanting and hoping and wishing and waiting for coming in. You're just going to be seeing things just popping up all over the place. For your moon and your emotional self, we have the Devil. So maybe this is about releasing a sense of feeling like you're not worthy, or you're not good enough, or you're emotionally not good enough, or you know, how could I deserve these things that are coming in? You have to let that go. Don't allow yourself to be emotionally bound or even emotionally attached to some of the abundance or some of the things that are brought to you during this year. Now for Mercury and your thoughts, I get the King of Wands. I love it. I think that you're going to start putting your ideas and your plans into action. I think that you're going to see that people are going to want to help you put together these projects, or see out your plans, or see out your dreams, and see to it that they actually happen. For your love life, I have Eight of Pentacles again. So definitely working on it. I think working on different ways that you can bring love into your life. I think that this is also talking about the money that you make, and how you may have love interests that stem from the projects or whatever it is that you're working on professionally or creatively this year. For Mars, we have the Six of Pentacles. So this is obviously that exchange, helping each other. I could see you meeting somebody through career changes or things that are shifting, and that through that change, you ultimately end up working on projects together. I mean, that would be pretty great. Shuffle these a little bit and get into your Jupiter for luck. Okay, Five of Swords. That's an interesting card for that place. I think, if anything, it's not excessively coming at people or being combative verbally. I think it's knowing when to lie down and knowing when to be a little bit more passive. And it's going to show you that if there's no, you know, butting heads or meeting of the minds, if there's more receptivity and more openness, then you're not going to have those issues. Like I said, Jupiter can highlight things. And so in this case, if you do have an indifference with somebody, if you aren't necessarily seeing eye to eye, you may be finding that if situations end, it's ending for the better. And so that was playing on that Jupiter energy that I told you guys about. We're now going to get into your Saturn and your restriction card, and that is the Magician. So this makes a little bit more sense now. If you've got some haziness and some things that aren't entirely clear, if you're feeling like with where, you know, Saturn is this year in Sagittarius, that it's not allowing you to see things for what it really is, and that there are some miscommunications, let it go. Just be open, you know, be receptive, and know that everything that's coming together is coming together organically and appropriately for you guys this year. Last but not least, we have Pisces. So let's take a look and see what Pisces sun card is going to be this year. The Hierophant, duh, with all those eclipses. Stepping into your power, stepping into your knowledge, being somebody who is so respectable and who's wise and who may potentially be sharing their life experience and what they've done and what they've had going on with others. With your moon, the Three of Cups. I was talking about this in my last video, that Pisces are gonna love this like next moon cycle. It's just a lot of social stuff, and it's a lot of partying, it's a lot of having fun, being able to share with other people, being able to come together with groups of other people. And then we have Mercury for your thoughts and what to expect from that, the world. So perhaps maybe having a better understanding of the people around you and giving perspective, and really kind of changing the way that you think and changing the way that you feel and how you communicate, and coming to terms with things from the past. Now for Venus, the card that I pull is the Star card. So wishing, hoping and wishing and getting what you want and meditating on radiating and bringing in love is very significant. And you may see that happening. You may see that happening February, March. So just keep that in mind. Now we move into Mars and your energy and where you're going. And look at this, Ace of Wands. I mean, man, is this ever true? Especially right now, there's going to be a lot of things still coming together as a result of wrapping up some of these eclipses that we've been having in Pisces. And I do think that this is new creative opportunities. I think that this can be talking about the arts. I think this can be talking about music. This can be talking about travel. And you're just going to be on the go. You're going to be on the go. You're going to be seeing that happening all year for you. For your Jupiter, I have, oh, you'll love this, the High Priestess. So being super connected and in tune to what you've got going on with your intuition and your emotional sense, and listening to it and knowing that this is what's directing you, this is what's driving you, this is it. And finally, the restriction card that we have for Pisces, and what's potentially holding you back, Two of Pentacles. So having to balance your skills, having to balance and really rein in that Ace of Wands and keep yourself on track and give yourself the time that you need and allow yourself to work at things at your own pace and listen to your intuitive selves. It's going to come together. It's all going to come together for you, and it's going to fall into place. And man, I feel really good about the predictions that came up. I feel like they were very positive. I feel like they were also pretty on point for a lot of the astrological trends and the things that we're going to be seeing in 2017. I'm so glad that I got to spend time with you guys, and I look forward to seeing what Magic Mike has to say a little bit later tonight. And I hope you guys have a happy new year, and I hope you've had a happy holiday. I look forward to talking to you guys in the future, and I wish I had more time to chat with you guys, but I do have to wrap up. If you have any questions for me, or if you want to book your own personal reading, you may do so at astrology.com, and we can have a chit chat. And until then, enjoy the rest of the show. You know, make those resolutions, have fun. Stay tuned, because there's more coming, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not positive, but for some reason I thought that we were going to have live stuff also going on tomorrow, for those of you guys who are wanting to tune in and see what we've got going on. So if I stand corrected, we'll find out. But thank you so much for hanging out with me, and Happy New Year, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.